जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Jaya Krishna Balaram 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः yasyākhilāmīva-habhiḥ su-maṅgalaiḥ vāco vimiśrā guṇa-karma-janmabhiḥ prāṇanti śumbhanti punanti vai jagat यास्तद्विरक्ताः śava-śobhanā matāḥ yasyākhilāmīva-habhiḥ su-maṅgalaiḥ vāco vimiśrā guṇa-karma-janmabhiḥ prāṇanti śumbhanti punanti vē jagat tad-viraktāḥ śava-śobhanā matāḥ yasyākhilāmīva-habhiḥ su-maṅgalaiḥ vāco vimiśrā guṇa-karma-janmabhiḥ prāṇanti śumbhanti punanti vē jagat tad-viraktāḥ śava-śobhanā matāḥ yasyākhilāmīva-habhiḥ su-maṅgalaiḥ vāco vimiśrā guṇa-karma-janmabhiḥ prāṇanti śumbhanti punanti vē jagat tad-viraktāḥ śava-śobhanā matāḥ yasyākhilāmīva-habhiḥ su-maṅgalaiḥ vāco vimiśrā guṇa-karma-janmabhiḥ prāṇanti śumbhanti punanti vē jagat tad-viraktāḥ śava-śobhanā matāḥ. Mataji. yasyākhilāmīva-habhiḥ su-maṅgalaiḥ vāco vimiśrā guṇa-karma-janmabhiḥ prāṇanti śumbhanti punanti vē jagat tad-viraktāḥ śava-śobhanā matāḥ. Yasya, of whom, akhila, all, amīva, sins, habhiḥ, which destroys, su-maṅgalaiḥ, most auspicious, vācaḥ, words, vimiśrāḥ, joined, guṇa, with the qualities, karma, activities, janmabhiḥ, and incarnations, prāṇanti, they give life, śumbhanti, make beautiful, punanti, and purify, vai, indeed, jagat, the entire universe, yah, which, words, tat, of these, viraktāḥ, devoid, śava, of a corpse, śobhanāḥ, like the decorating, matāḥ, considered. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All sins are destroyed and all good fortune created by the Supreme Lord's qualities, activities and appearances, and words that describe these three things animate, beautify and purify the world. On the other hand, words bereft of His glories are like the decorations on a corpse. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami brings up the following possible objection. How can one who is devoid of ordinary ego who is fully self-satisfied, engage in pastimes? The answer is given here. Lord Krishna acts on the pure spiritual platform for the pleasure of his loving devotees, not for any kind of mundane gratification. Om ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam sthapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kadamahyam dadati swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapad-kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakankshan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, I beg the mercy of all the devotees who are assembled here, so that I will be able to speak properly according to Guru Parampara. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So today we are reading 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is 38th chapter, and we are reading today verse 12. So this chapter is completely dedicated to the prayers of Akrura. And we have been hearing from many illustrious Vaishnavas in last few days, from His Holiness Prabodhananda Saraswati Maharaj, His Holiness Radharaman Maharaj, and Sarvabhaum Prabhu yesterday. And they have been covering all the prelogue to this particular incident in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Akrura is sent by Kansa to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. Why? Because to kill Krishna, that is his desire. And Akrura, while coming to Vrindavan from Mathura, he is offering these prayers. So in Padyavali, Srila Rupa Goswami writes a very beautiful verse speaking about who are the acharyas of the 9 processes of bhakti. Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshita Bhavad Vaiyasaki Kirtane Prahladah Smarane Tadangri Bhajane Lakshmi Prithu Pujane Akrura Stvabhinandane Kapipater Dasyetha Sakhirjune Sarvaswatma Nivedane Balirabhut Krishnaptire Shamparam. Srila Rupa Goswami says that there are 9 processes of bhakti: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. And one devotee has perfected each of these 9 processes. Who has perfected the process of Shravanam? So Sri Rupa Goswami says, Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshita Bhavad. Srila Parikshit Maharaj perfected the process of Shravanam. He sat down for 7 days and heard Srimad Bhagavatam without drinking even water. So therefore Parikshit perfected the process of Shravanam. Who perfected the process of Kirtanam? Vaiyasaki Kirtane. The process of Kirtan was perfected by Srila Shukadeva Goswami. Who perfected the process of Smaranam? Prahlada Smarane. Prahlad Maharaj perfected the process of Smarana Bhakti. Who perfected the process of Tadangri Bhajane? Pada Sevanam. Lakshmi Devi perfected the process of Pada Sevanam. And Prithu Maharaj perfected the process of Pujanam. And who perfected the process of Vandanam? Shri Akrura. Akrurastvabhinandane. Kapipatir, Shri Hanumanji perfected the process of Dasyam. Arjun perfected the process of Sakhya. And Sarvaswatma Nivedane Balirabhut. Bali Maharaj perfected the process of Atma Nivedan. So, these devotees, by taking up to one process of bhakti, they achieve the lotus feet of Krishna. And Sri Akrura Maharaj, Sri Akrura took up the process of Vandanam. He perfected his devotional service by just one process, that is Vandanam. Therefore, it becomes very important for us to understand how Akrura is offering prayers to Krishna. This entire chapter is dedicated to the prayers of Krishna. So, in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada writes that how a devotee offers prayer to Krishna. What are the different kinds of prayer that a devotee can offer? So he says there are three kinds of prayer a devotee offers. The first one is called Samprarthanatmika. Samprarthanatmika is a prayer, Srila Prabhupada writes, feelingly offering prayers to Krishna, glorifying his name, form, qualities and pastimes, is called Samprarthanatmika. We have many prayers like that. Navanirada nindita kanti dharam rasasagar nagar bhupavaram shubhavankimacharushi khanda shikham bhaja krishna nidhim vrajaraja sutam. So this is just pure glorification of Krishna's beauty. This is called Samprarthanatmika. So there are many prayers which are just pure glorification of Krishna's beauty, Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities. Sundara kundala nayana vishala gale sohe vai jayanti mala yachavi ki balihari radhe shyam shyam shyam. So there are many songs like that in our Vaishnava songbook we can find, which are just purely glorifying Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes. So this is the first kind of prayer, which is called Samprarthanatmika. The second kind of prayer, Srila Prabhupada writes, is called Dainyabodhika. Dainyabodhika is a prayer where a devotee expresses his utter disqualification to achieve Krishna's lotus feet. Like Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Amar jivan sada pape rata nahi ko punyera lesha. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Amar jivan sada pape rata. My life is filled with sinful activities. Parera udvega diyachi koto diyachi jivera klesha. Amar jivan sada pape rata. So this is the second kind of prayer, where a devotee expresses his utmost disqualification to achieve Krishna's lotus feet. And this is called Dainyabodhika. And the third kind of prayer is called Lalasamai. So Lalasa is a greed to attain Krishna. So there are prayers where a devotee expresses his intense lalasa, his intense greed to achieve Krishna's lotus feet. And these prayers can be of two types. In Lalasamai, there can be Bhajana Lalasa and there can be Seva Lalasa. Like Sri Narottam Das Thakur, he prays, Hari Hari Kabe Mor Haibe Sudina Bhajibo Shri Radha Krishna Haiya Prema Dhina Hari Hari Kabe Mor Haibe Sudina. So here Sri Narottam Das Thakur expresses his lalasa, his greed to do Krishna bhajan. And this is called bhajana lalasa. But there are other songs where Sri Narottam Das Thakur has sung for seva-abhilasha. That is called seva lalasa. Like we all know. Radha Krishna pranamor jugala kishor Shyama Gauri Ange Dibo Chandane Ragan Chamara Dhulabo Kabe Heri Mukha Chandra. So this is called the lalasa mai. So there are two kinds of lalasa. One is lalasa for seva and another is lalasa for Krishna bhajan. So if you see Akrura's prayers here, where Sri Akrura is praying, we can find that most of the prayers of Akrura fall in these two categories, mostly in these two categories of Dainya Bodhika and Lalasamai, where Akrura is expressing his humility that I cannot achieve Krishna. I do not have so much qualification to achieve Krishna. We are expressing his humility, and at the same time he has lalasa. He has intense desire and greed to serve Krishna. So this is Akrura's prayers. Now what is Akrura's mood in offering these prayers? When Akrura is offering these prayers, in spite of his utter disqualifications which he mentions, that I have served Kansa all my life, how can I achieve Krishna in this lifetime? How can I see his lotus feet in this lifetime? But he has hope against hope. And that Srila Rupa Goswami defines in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. He calls it Asha Bandha. One of the symptoms of a devotee who develops bhava, when the bhava ankur rises in the heart of a devotee, one of the symptoms which Srila Rupa Goswami mentions among the 9 symptoms of bhakti, among the 9 symptoms of bhava, one of the symptoms he mentioned is called Asha Bandha. Asha Bandha is a symptom, is a mood of a devotee where he feels utterly disqualified to attain Krishna's lotus feet. But Asha Bandha, he has a great hope. He has a great hope that although I am utterly disqualified, I am utterly disqualified to attain Krishna in this very lifetime, but he has a great hope that Krishna is very merciful. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami, in explaining this verse, explaining this concept of Asha Bandha, he quotes Srila Sanatana Goswami. That what is the mood of Asha Bandha, which we can also see in the prayers of Akrura. Na prema shravanadi bhaktirapi va yogothava vaishnavo jnanam va shubha-karma va kiyadaho sajjatirapyasti va hinarthadhika sadhake tvai tatha pyachcheda moola sati he gopi janavallabha vyathayate ha ha mada shaiva mam. Srila Sanatana Goswami expresses this mood of Asha Bandha, where he says that, O Krishna, this hope that I have in my heart to attain your lotus feet, vyathayate, that is giving me extreme pain. Why? Because I am utterly disqualified. Na prema, I do not have love for Krishna. Na shravanadi bhakti rapiva, I do not have even nishtha in shravanadi bhakti, shravanam kirtanam Vishnu. I do not have nishtha in shravanadi bhakti. I am not born in a very good Brahmin family as well, who is learned in scriptures. I do not have any knowledge of the yoga. Yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. I do not know the process of Ashtanga yoga. Yogo thava Vaishnavo jnanam va shubha-karma va kiyadaho. I do not know even jnana. I do not have any knowledge of the scriptures. I do not know what is Veda, what is Vedanta, what are the richas of the Vedas. I do not know how to chant, how to pronounce. I have all the disqualification to attain you, O Krishna. And I am not born in a very great family as well. But when I see your quality, O Krishna, that hinarthadika sadhake tvai tatha, that you are deen bandhu jagatpate, you are very merciful to those who are utterly disqualified. Therefore, when I think of that quality of yours, there is a hope that rises in my heart. And I get swayed between this hope and hopelessness. When I see my qualities, when I see my disqualification, I become hopeless. And when I see your qualities, that Krishna, you are so merciful, I become hopeful. And therefore, this going between hopelessness and hopefulness gives me extreme pain. And this is the exact same mood which Akrura is feeling when he is coming towards Vrindavan. Akrura, you will find in his prayers, that how Akrura is offering his prayers. In the beginning, the first few verses, the strings of minds of Akrura is being pulled on two sides. On one side, Akrura is thinking that I am so disqualified that I will never be able to attain Krishna's lotus feet. Kim maya charitam bhadram, kim tapta paramam tapa, kim vathapyarhate dattam drakshyamye adya keshava. Kim maya charitam bhadram, what pious activities have I performed? Kim tapta, what tapasya I have done? What dana, what charity have I given that I will be able to see Krishna's lotus feet? No, I will not be able to see Krishna's lotus feet. Feeling utterly disqualified. He says, Mamai tad-durlabham manye uttama shloka darshanam vishayatmano yatha brahma kirtanam shudra janmanaha. Mamai tad-durlabham manye, for me to achieve Krishna's lotus feet is very durlabha. Just like a Shudra who is born in a Shudra family, for him to chant the Vedic mantras is so durlabha. Therefore, Akrura, feeling himself utterly disqualified to achieve Krishna's lotus feet, he prays like this. There is utter hopelessness in his mind. So this is the one side of Akrura's mind. Extreme hopelessness. Therefore, he uses a word, Uttama Shloka. Oh Krishna, you are Uttama Shloka. How can I achieve you? Uttama Shloka means one who is glorified in choice poetry. One of the meanings of Uttama Shloka is this. But another meaning of Uttama Shloka is, Krishna, you are glorified by Uttama, by great men of this material world, by Brahma and Shiva. You are being glorified. Even they do not get to see, do not get to have your darshan. Then how can I have darshan of Krishna? So therefore he says Uttama Shloka. But then the other side of Akrura's mind is being pulled by hopefulness, where Akrura, he is saying, Maivam mama dhamasyapi syaddeva chuta darshana hriyamano kalanadhya kvachittarati kashana. Now here he says, Maivam mama adhamasyapi. Even if I am the most wretched, the most fallen, the most lowly of all conditioned soul in entire universe, but even for me, I can surely get darshan of Krishna. Why? Because he uses a word for Krishna. Now here Akrura changes the name of Krishna. Here he says Achyuta darshana. I will have darshan of Achyuta. So our acharyas comment that why Achyuta? Because Krishna's name Achyuta signifies that he is infallible. And because he is infallible, his qualities are also infallible. And because his qualities are also infallible, Krishna's quality of showing mercy to the conditioned soul will also be there. And therefore, although I am the most fallen, the most lowly, Krishna will surely give me mercy and I will have Krishna's darshan. So this is the other side of Akrura's mind, where Akrura is being pulled on two sides. There is hopelessness and there is hopefulness. So this is Akrura's mind. Therefore our Acharya says that when Akrura is moving, he is going towards Vrindavan, he is thinking about Putana. Now we know that Akrura actually used to hear all the pastimes of Krishna, even being in Mathura. In previous verse, it is explained, Yad gopikanam kuchakum kumankitam. Even the most exalted, revered pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan, Akrura knows about it. That's why he is praying that I will have darshan of that lotus feet of Krishna which are worshipped by Brahma and Shiva. So, Akrura knows all the pastimes, and Srila Jiva Goswami, he writes that Akrura is meditating on the Putana pastime, especially while coming to Vrindavan. Why? Because Akrura is thinking that if Putana got delivered, who was Putana? Srila Sukadeva Goswami gives a beautiful introduction to Putana in Srimad Bhagavatam. Kansena prahita ghora Putana balghatini Shishum chachara nighnanti puragrama vrajadishu. Srila Sukadeva Goswami he dedicates 2 verses mentioning disqualifications of Putana in 1 chapter. As if he is so attached to mention these disqualifications, because Sukadeva Goswami wants to point out to devotees that, oh dear devotees, just look at what are the disqualifications of Putana. Kansena prahita, the first disqualification of Putana is she is kanshena prahita. Preshita prahita. She is sent by Kansa, confidential associate of Kansa. This is Putana. Introduction to Putana in Srimad Bhagavatam. Kansena prahita ghora. She is ghora. She is ghastly. And Putana balghatini. She doesn't even kill even normal people. She kills small children. Shishum chachara nighnanti puragrama vrajadishu. Shishum nighnanti puragrama vraja adishu chachara. She is moving around all the places killing children. Now this is before killing of Putana. After killing of Putana also, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, as if he is so attached to mention these disqualifications of Putana, he mentions again another verse. Putana lokabalagni rakshasi rudhirasana jighansayapi haraye stanam dattva pasadgatim. Again he mentions Putana lokabalagni. Another disqualification. She kills children, Rakshasi. She is born in Rakshasi family. Balaghatini and Putana Loka Balagni Rakshasi Rudhirasana. And what she drinks, the only food she has is she drinks blood. But Jighansayapi Hare, and another disqualification of Putana, that when she came to Vrindavan, she came to kill Krishna. But there is only one small qualification of Putana, is Jighansayapi Hare stanam dattva apasadgatim. She gave her body, her breast milk to drink, and that itself purified Putana. So Sri Akrura is meditating on this particular pastime of Krishna. That if Putana can be delivered, having so many lists of disqualifications, then will I not get delivered? Will I not receive mercy of Krishna? I will. I will surely achieve the mercy of Krishna. So this is the temperament in which Sri Akrura is approaching Vrindavan. And this is why Srila Rupa Goswami says Asha Bandha. A devotee, Sri Akrura is teaching us that a devotee, although having all disqualifications in his life, he still has hope against hope that one day, I will surely achieve the mercy of Krishna. So this is Akrura's prayer. Now, Akrura also has samutkantha. One of the symptoms of bhava is samutkantha. Samutkantha, Srila Rupa Goswami defines it as having intense greed for Krishna. Intense greed to achieve Krishna's lotus feet. That is called samutkantha. And Srila Rupa Goswami quotes Sri Krishna Karnamrit to explain this samutkantha. Bahula chikura bharam baddha pichhavatansam chapala chapala netram charu bimbadharostham madhura mridulahasam mandarodharalilam mrigayati nayanam me mugdha vesham murare. What is this samutkantha? To explain this, Sri Rupa Goswami is quoting Bilvamangal Thakur, where Bilvamangal Thakur is praying to Krishna that, "Oh Mugdha Vesham Murari, when will I have darshan of Krishna's lotus face?" Bahula Chikura Bharam, Krishna's lotus face which is decorated with the curly locks of soft black hairs. Bahula Chikura Bharam Baddha Pichhavatansam. And Krishna's face is decorated by the Pichhavatamsam, by the peacock feather. Chapala Chapala Netram, Krishna is always looking. His eyes are restless in this Vrindavan because Krishna, in this Vrindavan, he is always searching for Sri Radhika. Therefore, Chapala Chapala Netram. Patati patate vichalita patre shankita tava upayana rachayati shayanam sachakita nayanam pashyati tava panthanam dhira samire Yamuna Tire. Shri Jayadeva Goswami says that Chapala Chapala Netram. Krishna on the banks of Yamuna, he is searching for Sri Radhika. Therefore Chapala Chapala Netram. And when will I have darshan of such form of Krishna? And that is what is the prayer of Bilvamangal Thakur in Krishna Karunamrita. Chapala Chapala Netram Charu Bimbadharoshtham Madhuram Madhura Hasam Mandarodhara Leelam Mrigayati Nayanam Me Mugdha Vesham Murari. When will I have darshan of Krishna's lotus face? And this is Samutkantha. And this Samutkantha can be seen in the prayers of Akrura. Akrura is also having the same kind of Samutkantha. When will I have the darshan of the lotus feet of Krishna? And because of this Samutkantha, you will find that Akrura in the beginning, he is praying to Krishna that, Krishna, I want to have darshan of your lotus feet. And then the next verse goes to the lotus face. So our Acharya says, because of extreme Ananda Udrek, because of extreme ecstasy, because of extreme Samutkantha, Akrura, he approached the lotus feet of Krishna. He should have gone up from lotus feet, but because of extreme Utkantha, Samutkantha, he starts praying that when will I have darshan of the lotus face of Krishna? So this two features, Ashabandha and Samutkantha, can be found in Akrura's prayers. Therefore, you will find that in Srimad Bhagavatam, after Akrura has offered all these prayers, Sri Shukadeva Goswami comments. Sri Shukadeva Goswami, in extreme ecstasy, by speaking about Akrura's prayers, he comments about Akrura that what is the goal of this life. He comments, Deha bhritam iyanartho hitva dambham bhayam shucham Sandeshadyo harer linga darshana shravanadibhi. Sri Shukadeva Goswami comments that Deha Bhritam Iyan Artho, those who are embodied, those who have a material body, what is the real goal for them? What is the purpose of having this body? Sri Shukadeva Goswami says, after speaking about Akrura's prayers, that Deha Bhritan Iyan Artho, this is the actual goal of life. What is the actual goal of life? Deha Britan Iyan Artho Hitva Dambham Bhiyam Shucham. One should leave aside Dambha, pride. One should leave aside Bhiyam, fear, and Shucham, Shoka, lamentation. And the way Akrura gave away these hitva, dambham, bhiyam, shucham, and he offered prayers to Krishna as soon as he received the message that I have to go to Vrindavan, Shandeshad yo Harer Linga. And the way he developed the intense greed, Asha Bandha and Samutkantha to achieve Krishna's lotus feet, that is the real goal of this human form of life. This is a comment by Srila Sukadeva Goswami. So therefore, this is the mood in which Akrura is offering prayers. And in this verse especially, Akrura is speaking, he is saying that, oh Krishna, your name, form, qualities, pastimes, if the words which are mixed with the name, form, qualities, pastimes of yours, they purify the entire three worlds. So what to speak of me, when I have your Sakshat Darshan, will I not get purified? I will certainly get purified. So this is the mood of this particular verse, where Akrura, he is praying, he is saying, yasyākhilāmīva-habhiḥ su-maṅgalaiḥ. Vāco vimiśrā guṇa-karma-janmabhiḥ. Vāco, the Vani, or the words which are vimiśrā, which are mixed with guna, karma and janma. Qualities of Krishna, karma of Krishna, and janma of Krishna, avatar katha. If the Vani is mixed with all of these three, that kind of Vani purifies the entire three worlds. Prāṇanti, it gives life. Śumbhanti, it decorates the person who is singing it. And punanti, it purifies him completely. Vai jagat, vai means certainly, there is no doubt about it. And tad-viraktāḥ, and those words which are devoid of name, form, qualities, pastime of Krishna, they are like decorating a dead corpse. So this is the mood in which Akrura is offering this prayer. He is saying that if the Vani, which is mixed with guna, karma and janma, that purifies the entire three world, what to speak of me? Although I am the most unqualified, the most wretched, the most fallen, the most lowly of all living beings, if I get to see the darshan of Krishna and Balaram, will I not get purified? Certainly, why? Certainly I will get purified. So this is the mood of this verse. Now in this verse, we have very less time, so I'll just... Now in this verse, there are certain things which Akrura is mentioning. He says, yasyākhilāmīva-habhiḥ su-maṅgalaiḥ. There are two words here. Akhila amīva means sin, and ha means hanana, to kill or to destroy. So Akrura is mentioning two characteristics of the Vani, or the words which are mixed with guna, karma and janma. What are those two characteristics? So the first line of this verse, if you see, there are two characteristics of the words which are mixed with guna, karma and janma. The two characteristics are yasyākhilāmīva-habhiḥ. That means, akhil means complete, amīva means sin, and ha means to destroy. So Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, words which are mixed with Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, janma, karma and guna, they destroy heaps and heaps of sins. That is the first characteristic. The second characteristic, he says, su-maṅgalaiḥ. That these words which are mixed with Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, they bring ultimate auspiciousness. Therefore, su-maṅgalaiḥ. These are the characteristics. Now, what are the effects? What are the effect of chanting these words which has glorification of Krishna? What are the effects? So he says prāṇanti, śumbhanti, punanti. These are the three effects. Anyone who takes up to chanting the glories of Krishna, chanting the glories of the name, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna, prāṇanti, he gets life. This is the first effect. Then śumbhanti, he becomes beautified. He gets decorated. And punanti, he becomes completely purified. Punanti vai jagat. And the fourth line talks about those who are devoid of these name form qualities pastimes. What happens to them? tad-viraktāḥ śava-śobhanā matāḥ. Any word or any vāni which is devoid of, which is bereft of qualities of Krishna's name form qualities pastimes, they are like śava-śobhanā matāḥ. They are like decorating the dead body. Therefore, Hari Bhakti Subhodaya, there is a verse, beautiful verse which Srila Prabhupada would often quote. Bhagavad-Bhakti hinasya jati shastra japastapa prāṇasya eva hi dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. Bhagavad-Bhakti hinasya, anything which is devoid of Bhagavad-Bhakti, anything devoid of Krishna Bhakti, jati shastra japa tapa. Although one may be born in a very big Brahmin family, he might know all kinds of rituals, rules and regulations of doing yagya, jati, shastra. He might know all the shastras, Vedic literatures. He can chant the Vedic mantras perfectly in great meter. Jati, shastra, japa, tapa. One can do lot of tapasya, chant many mantras. But prāṇasya eva hi dehasya, what it is like a body which does not have life if there is no bhakti. And mandanam lokaranjanam, and all of these qualities, what are they like? They are like just decorating a dead body. So this is what Sri Akrura is saying, that the words which are mixed with Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, they purify the entire three worlds. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Uddhav, he mentions that how these words purify. He is praying to the Vraj Gopis and he says, Vande Nanda Vrajastrinam Padarenu Abhikshnasha Yasam Mahat Kathod Gitam Punati Bhuvanatrayam. Vraj Gopis, their song for Krishna, when they sing about Krishna, Punati Bhuvanatrayam, that purifies the three worlds. And therefore Uddhav is praying that, O Vraj Gopis, please give me the speck of dust of your lotus feet. Vande Nanda Vrajastrinam Pad Renu. Renu is ekvachan, natu Renu bhi, our Acharya is right. Just the one speck of dust is desired by devotees who are singing the glories of Krishna. So therefore Uddhav is saying, and we can just go on how the Vedic literatures are filled with this, that how just one name of Krishna purifies the person, it brings auspiciousness, it gives life. Now another question can arise in the hearts of a sadhaka that, do we not see people who are not glorifying Krishna, who are not chanting Krishna's holy name, who are not reading Srimad Bhagavatam, do they not live? Srimad Bhagavatam says, no, they do not live actually. Tarva kimna jivanti, second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Do the trees not live? What is the use of such living if you are not glorifying Krishna? Then somebody says that, okay, no, Tarva kimna jivanti, okay, trees live, we also live, but we breathe. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Bhashra kimna swashanti. The bellow of a blacksmith, does it not breathe? But what is the use? So Srimad Bhagavatam goes on to condemn such a person who is not glorifying, who is not engaged. His body is not engaged in glorifying Krishna, in seeing Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam goes on to say that those eyes which do not see the beautiful Shyam Sundar Madan Mohan form of the Lord, those eyes are like the eyes, those design which are there on peacock feather. What is the use of such eyes? Those ear holes are like the holes of a snake. That tongue which does not glorify Krishna, which does not chant the holy name of Krishna, that tongue is like the tongue of a frog, which croaks day and night and only invites snake-like death. So Srimad Bhagavatam condemns. Therefore, anybody who chants Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, he gets jivanti, prāṇanti. Prāṇanti means jivayanti. He gets life. And śumbhanti. Śumbhanti means all good qualities arrive in such a devotee. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the guna of kripa and nirmatsarata arrives in such a devotee. Yasyāsti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunais tatra samashrite surah harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathe nasati dhavato bahi. So Srimad Bhagavatam says that anybody who takes up to the devotional process, śumbhanti, all good qualities arrive in such a devotee. And punanti, punanti means he becomes completely purified. He becomes completely purified, so much so that he attains the lotus feet of Krishna in this very lifetime. Therefore, our acharyas, you will find that they always focused, their focus was always on glorifying Krishna. One time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who revolutionized the preaching work in India, there were many people who would criticize because of his revolutionary work. And especially those who are the smart brahmanas, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he revolutionized the preaching work. He changed many traditional rules and regulations for the purpose of preaching. And therefore, one time, one such person criticized Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He wrote a very big article criticizing the work of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And the devotees, the disciples, they were enraged, they were furious. They brought that article to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and they started saying that, oh, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, look at this fellow, he is offending a devotee. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked his disciple that how many times he has used the word Krishna in his writing. So they found that yes, he had used the word Krishna, that he is a Krishna devotee, he only preaches about Krishna, he only talks about Krishna, he doesn't care about the demigods. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in great humility, he says, distribute it. Because there is word Krishna here, this work will certainly purify all those entities who read it. So this was the mood of our acharyas. So, we can just go on, but the time is up. So just 5 more minutes and I'll conclude. So, Srila Prabhupada. Now look at Srila Prabhupada. In preface to Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada writes a very beautiful statement. I'm just going to read it for all of you. Srila Prabhupada writes in preface, I must admit my frailties in presenting Srimad Bhagavatam, but still I am hopeful of its good reception by the thinkers and leaders of society on the strength of the following statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now anybody remembers what is the verse which Srila Prabhupada quotes in the preface? Srila Prabhupada quotes a verse from first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 5th chapter, 11th verse. He says, tad-viraktāḥ janatagha viplavo yasmin prati shloka baddhavatyapi namani nantasya yashonkitani at shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. Srila Prabhupada was so hopeful. He says that Srimad Bhagavatam is such a high exalted subject matter and I am going to translate it in English. It's so difficult to translate Sanskrit words to English. It's very difficult. So surely Prabhupada in great humility, he says there will be surely some frailties in my work. But I am hopeful. Why? Because Srimad Bhagavatam says tad-vāg visargo janatag viplavo yasmin prati shloka abadhavatyapi. Although a literature which is imperfectly composed, if all the verses yasmin prati shloka, let's say a literature which is completely imperfectly composed, Srimad Bhagavatam is not imperfectly composed, but even if a literature which is imperfectly composed, if the verses do not follow the rules and regulations of grammar, if the verses do not follow the rules and regulations of meter, of chanda, even then abadhavatapi. Abadha means they are just breaking. The verses are breaking. But even though, if there is glorification of Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, pastimes in those verses, tad-vāg visargo janatag viplavo, they will destroy the sins of this entire world. Yasmin prati shloka abadhavatyapi namani anantasya yasho ankitani, because such literatures are filled with Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, pastimes. Grinanti namani anantasya yasho ankitani shrinvanti gayanti grinanti sadhava. The great souls or great devotees of the Lord, they will still, although imperfectly composed, they will still hear such a literature. Shrinvanti, they will sing such a literature. And gayanti, shrinvanti, gayanti, grinanti, and they will accept it. They will make it their life and soul. So Srila Prabhupada says that although my work can have frailties, but because Srimad Bhagavatam is Namamaya Grantha, because Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with glorification of Krishna, and I am trying my best to translate this work will be appreciated by the leaders of this society. And on the other hand, those literatures which do not have any glorification of name, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna, although perfectly composed. The very previous verse to this verse, 1:5-10, Na yadvashashchitra padam harer yasho jagat pavitram pragridita karhe chet tad-vayasam tirthamushanti manasa nayatra hansa niramantyo shikshaya. So Srimad Bhagavatam says that Nayad Vachas Chitra Padam. Chitra means Vichitra. Although perfectly composed in terms of grammar, in terms of chanda, in terms of alankar, although perfectly composed, such literature, Nayad Vachas Chitra Padam Harer Yasho, if they are devoid of Hari's yasha, if they are devoid of the glories of Krishna, Nayad Vachas Chitra Padam Harer Yasho, they are not accepted by Hansa-like devotees. They are like pilgrimage place for crows. Srimad Bhagavatam condemns such literatures. Tad-vayasam tirtham ushanti manasa. And great devotees who are the Paramhansas, they do not take pleasure in such literatures. So therefore here, Sri Akrura is also saying that, O Krishna, your words, if the words which are just mixed, he says vimiśrā. Vimiśrā means not even complete glorification of Krishna. If there is even a tinge of glorification of Krishna in such words, they are potent enough to purify the entire three. So what to speak of me, if I get to see your Sakshat Darshan, will I not get purified? So here I pause. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. And I beg forgiveness from all devotees if some inappropriate words came out from my mouth. Please forgive me for that. Hare Krishna.